What is going on, everyone? All aboard! Welcome back to another train talk with me, Conductor Jackson. I'm so glad to be doing another one of these again. It's been a hot minute since I've done it, so let's get to it. Hope everyone has had a great Monday today. I have. I've been getting ready to do another train talk for you guys tonight here on stream. So let's get to it. All right, let me get all these things set up. Let me just turn on the music a little bit. Hopefully the music's fine for everyone. Alright, let me get all my things set up so that way I could show you what we're going to be talking about tonight. Let me get my things pulled up. Hey Justin, how's it going? Welcome aboard! I'm just getting ready to talk about trains tonight for everyone. Alright, this is what we're going to be talking. One of the things we're going to be talking about tonight, everyone. The Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine Railroad. This is why I went back in July for my trip, so I'm going to be talking about some of the bit about the history for you guys. Before we get this whole thing going, can I get an all aboard in the chat? Yes, thank you, Justin. Let's get to it. All right. So to get a little bit about the history about the Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine. Well, before that, it was the Madera Sugar Pine Company, and I quote from the Wikipedia page, the Madera Sugar Pine Company was a lumber company that operated in the Sierra Nevada region of California during the late 19th century and early 20th centuries. It was known for its use of the innovative technologies such as the first log fume and logging railroad in the southern Sierra, and the adoption of the steam donkey engine in commercial logging. The company has significant impact on the region, leading to the founding of several towns including Madera, Fish Camp, and Sugar Pine, as well as the growth of Fresno Flats and the formation of Madera County. In addition, the company contributed to the agriculture in California through its production of wooden shipping buckets, and it was also involved in a U.S. Supreme Court case related to employee obligations. Continuing on, at its peak, the Madera Sugar Pine Company employed over 600 men in its logging operations and another 1,000 men in its lumbering plant. It produced 50 million board feet of lumber annually. Most of the company's production was exported outside of California, and they even supplied 2 carloads of the best sugar pine in the world. Quoted from Theodore Theodore Roosevelt's reconstruction of the White House. In total, the company logged over 6,200 acres and produced 1.3 billion board feet of lumber before closing permanently in 1933 due to declining lumber supply and demand caused by the Great Depression. Despite the economic challenges at the time, the Madera Sugar Pine Company had shown a profit in every year of its operation. Then it was not until in 1961 it resumed as the Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine Railway. It's a heritage rail where the rail was built on a 2-mile section of the original railroad grade used between 1908 and 1924. And let me show you some of the let me show you a little, and let me go a little bit about the rolling stock they have here. Let me go down to my notes right here. So the locomotives right here that the Madera Sugar Pine Company had, they had 7 locomotives, and I quote, "Of these engines, 4 were given official names, while the remaining 3 were assigned numerical designations. The first of these engines, engine number 1, was also known as Betsy, was a pioneering machine in the region. Despite its unconventional early design, Betsy proved to be a reliable workhorse and remained in constant service until the MSP ceased operation in the early 1930s. Betsy was a unique machine, with a small cab that required the engineer to also serve as a fireman. This quirk, however, did not detract from its performance, and Betsy became one of the longest-serving Shay locomotives in the Sierra, which is another thing we're going to be covering later on stream. It became one. Its continue on. Its tendency to jump the track was a minor inconvenience, and I quote as well, "On the runs from the sawmill to the woods, engines number 2, 3, and 4 generally pulled 15 empty log cars, while the larger 3-truck Shay locomotives, engines number 5 and engine number 6, could each pull 22 empty log cars. The length of incoming trains depended on the use of railroad grades at the same time. Shay locomotives were never turned, instead the front end always pointed up the hill, a testament to the versatility to enhance visibility and safety. The company retrofitted its Shay locomotives with battery-powered lights. However, these lights proved only as bright as oil lamps when fully charged. Then in 1933, the sawmill closed and the company chose to dismantle the railroad in 1934, making the end of the era for the Madera Sugar Pine Company, and all the engines were sold and scrapped in 1937. Okay. All right, and let me show you some of the pictures of the locomotives that they had. So this one is locomotive number 2, the Arthur Hill. So as you can see right here, I'll be going a little more about the components of these locomotives right here, but just a little bit of a detail about this locomotive. The Arthur Hill was built for the Sugar Pine Company with a fuel capacity of 1.5 quarts of water and 1,560 gallons, and an empty weight as built of 64,000 pounds. It was delivered to Madera. Then, but unfortunately, as I mentioned just right now, it was scrapped in 1937. Just take a look at this beauty. Ain't that something? Oh, sorry about that. Okay, and not sure which one is this, guys. I can't tell from the quality of the picture. But this is another one of the locomotives. I think this might be the Arthur Hill. Might be the Arthur Hill. Yeah, it kind of does look like it, but I'm not too sure. I'll need to double check on this. And here's an old picture of like on what carloads they pulled. See all these logs? See, similar, but I don't think it's the same locomotive. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too. It's hard to tell. So going back to that. So going back to this. So these locomotives in particular, which I'll be going into more detail, were primarily made to pull loads of trainloads of logs like this, just to get up the grades around the mountains. And these locomotives actually have a name, as I mentioned. They're Shay locomotives, which I'll be going into a little more detail about later on stream. And this is the Betsy. This was the Madeira Sugar Pine Company's first locomotive. It's way smaller, but just look how big of a load this baby can pull for just the size of the engine like this. From this to this. I mean, just look at that. And this is locomotive number 6. Locomotive number 6. Just another one to show you that was unfortunately scrapped, as I mentioned right now. And a little bit about this locomotive. It was an empty weight of 135,500 pounds, delivered to Raymond, sold to the Feather River Lumber Company in 1935, converted to oil burns, sold to the Hyman Michaels Company in San Francisco in 1943. Then it was sold to the Michigan California Lumber Company. Then in 1944, but then it was later scrapped in 1951. Okay, and these will be going a little bit later, but here's another picture of the Betsy right here. Pulling another load with a little more logs right here. It still amazes me I'm still very impressed how an engine like this can pull big loads like this, despite being smaller than compared to this one. Alright, let me go a little bit more about Betsy right here. So this was the first engine on the railroad. It was the first steam locomotive to operate in the Southern Sierra. Despite its unconventional early design, as I mentioned, remained constant service until the Madeira Sugar Pine Company ceased operation in the early 1930s. Unlike the other locomotives, it never received a painted on title. Then we got the third locomotive, the E.M. Fowler, which I think it's this one, but I'm not, or maybe this one, but I'm not too sure because they don't have numbers on here, but the E.M. Fowler, and I quote, was built for Madeira Sugar Pine Company with a fuel capacity of 1.5 quarts a word, water capacity of 1,560 gallons, and an empty weight that's billed as 70,950 pounds. It was delivered to Madeira. It was then, as I mentioned, it was unfortunately scrapped in 1937. Then we got the fourth engine, the E.M. Briggs. The E.M. Briggs was built for Madeira Sugar Pine Company with an empty weight that's billed as 84,000 pounds. Delivered to Raymond. It was scrapped unfortunately in 1937. And I'm thinking this is number 5, but as I said, I'm not too sure because it doesn't have a number and I don't see a name. But a little bit about the locomotive. It was built for the Madeira Sugar Pine Company with an empty weight of 120,000 pounds. Delivered in Raymond, sold to the Diamond Calder for parts in 1937 for $500. Which was definitely a lot back then. Man, I wonder how much that cost. Wonder how much that costs today. Probably like millions. Okay. Oh, and then we also have the diesel engine that the railroad had. Let me get a picture. Let me get a picture of that bad boy. There we go. So this is locomotive number 7. It's a gas mechanical engine, and this engine number 7 was the first gas mechanical engine used by the Madeira Sugar Pine Company. It was then later it was sold to the Grant's Gravel Company in Frank, California, converted to standard gauge. I'm not sure if this was scrapped though, because I couldn't find any additional information about this, but but if I do, I'll maybe post it in a future Instagram post. Something like that. Alright, what are you guys thinking so far? Let's take a quick water break for a quick second. Alright, moving on. Let's go take a look and see what the railroad is today. It's the Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine Railroad, and what locomotives they have. Just give me one sec. Let me pull this up. Here we go. So, this picture, as you can see in front of me, these are the 2 locomotives that the railroad has today. These are logos number 10, number 15. These are not from the original Madeira Sugar Pine Company. These locomotives are from another place. Let me just go find that. Let me just find that real quick. Ah, here we go. Here we go. This is locomotive number 10 right here, and locomotive number 15. So these were not used for the Madeira Sugar Pine Company. These were used for they were used in a couple other places. They were number 15 right here. It was originally used for the Norman P. Livermore Company out of San Francisco. Then it was later sold to the Sierra Nevada Wood and Lumber Company. Lumber Company. I'll go in a little bit more detail once we talk about more about the Shea locomotives and like how they work and all that. But look, but number 15 here in particular was then later used for the West Side Lumber Company later, but then it was used as a tourist operation for the West Side and Cherry Valley. Then it was put on stack display in Tulum, California until the Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine Railroad acquired it in 1988. So let's go a little bit. So let's go a little bit the other engines they have here. Wait, let me pull up this one. Alright, here's this one, and this is the one that I posted on my Instagram, and I've also shown this in my vlog. This is one of the diesel locomotives they have. This is locomotive number 5. It's a narrow 2-gauge axle diesel switch engine built in 1935. No wait, that's number 4 too. I got it mixed up. Excuse me. This is number 402. It's a narrow gauge sail cap 2-truck diesel locomotive. But it doesn't really. But the railroad doesn't really use it for this locomotive for regular scheduled revenue service. Only like, as I mentioned in my vlog from my trip, they only use it like if they're doing maintenance work on the steam locomotives and locomotives. So this diesel is hardly ever out. And also, I've also mentioned in my vlog and on my Instagram that I was able to take a cab ride on this diesel until when I first got there on my second day of the trip, up until there was that mishap on the track. But still, it was really cool getting the ride on the cab of this diesel. Alright. Okay, so and this is the diesel number 5. This is the one I was talking about. This is the one I was just talking about right now. You also see this in my vlog as well. This is another diesel they have, but it's not in operating condition right now. As I mentioned right now, it's a 3-foot narrow gauge 2-axle diesel switch engine built in 1935. As you can see, it's currently non-current operating condition. Oh my gosh! Oh, who did that? Oh, Storm! You got me there. Okay, I'm definitely gonna clip that. Welcome aboard, Storm. Thank you for coming in. We're currently talking about trains right now. We're talking about the Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine Railroad. It's the railroad I went to from my trip back in July. We were just talking about this locomotive. Hey, I thought I'd pop in for a minute. Yeah, no worries. I understand you're streaming, but I appreciate you'd stop popping on in. Okay, where was I? I lost my train of thought. Pun intended. Oh yeah, as I was saying, I really hope at some point they restore this locomotive because it would be really nice to see out. And this one right here is a Jenny rail car. These are Ford-A automobiles converted for rail. These were Ford Model A automobiles converted for rail use by the West Side Lumber Company. These rail cars each accommodate about 12 people, as shown right here, providing regular service in conjunction with the normal steam operation. And I know at certain times the railroad they will have these out like at certain times, but mostly they just have the regular steam locomotives out, which will be going just a little bit on stream. All right, thank you for the look, Storm. We're about at the 30-minute. I'm gonna take a little break for a sec. Then we'll go be a little bit more detail about the Shay locomotive. So don't go away. I'll be right back. Alright, we are back. Alright everyone, let's go in a little bit of detail about the Shay locomotives. Let me get my notes pulled up about it. Oh, I didn't even notice the look. Thank you for the look and the unlook, Justin. We were just about to talk about the Shay locomotive, so let me get the other two back so I could just show an example. So these two locomotives that you see from the Yosemite Valley Sugar Pine Railroad, these are Shay locomotives. Let's go a little bit about the guy who, about the creator, the guy who designed these locomotives is Ephraim Shay. So let's go a little bit about the guy who designed this and patented it. Ephraim Shay, born July 17, 1839 to April 19, 1916, was an American merchant, entrepreneur, and self-taught railroad engineer who worked in the state of Michigan. He designed the first Shay locomotive and patented the type. He licensed its manufacture through what became known as Lima Locomotive Works in Ohio from 1882 to 1892. Some 300 locomotives of this type were sold. Just a little bit about him. Now, let's go a little bit about how he came to develop these locomotives. And I quote, in the 1860s, he became a logger, wanted a better way to move logs to the mill than on the winter snow sleds. He built his own tramway in 1875 on a 2-foot 2-inch gauge track on wooden ties, allowing him to log all year round. 2 years later, he developed the idea of having an engine sit on a flat car with boiler gears and trucks that could pivot. The first Shay only had 2 cylinders, and the front truck was mounted normally while the rear truck was fixed to the frame and could not swivel, much as normal drivers on a locomotive. He mounted a 3-foot diameter by 5-foot tall boiler centered on the car, with the water tank over the front tracks for the engine supply by William Crippen mounted crossways over the rear track. Shay experimented first with a chain drive from the engine through the floor to the truck axle. It is not known if he powered one or both axles, but he soon found out that the chain drive was not practical, and he next tried a belt drive. It did not take long for the idea to become popular. Shay applied for and was issued a patent for the basic idea in 1881, and he patented an improved geared truck for his engines in 1901. And as just mentioned a little bit ago, Lima Locomotive Works in Lima, Ohio built Ephraim Shay's prototype engine in 1880. Prior to 1884, all of Shay's Lima produced weighed 10 to 15 short tons. Each had just 2 cylinders. In 1884, they delivered the first 3 cylinders Shay. And in 1885, the first free truck Class C Shay. The success of the Shay led to a major expansion and reorganization of the Lima Company. When Lima first received the Shay idea, it was not impressed until John Keynes influenced the company to use the idea, resulting in the classic Shay design. Alright, and here's a little bit of a diagram of all the parts of a Shay locomotive. So these are a lot. These locomotives are a lot different than your regular steam locomotive. As you can see right here, you have these pistons compared to your regular drivers that you see, like the trains at Disneyland, for example, move the wheels. This one, however, when powered up, it will go through these cylinders right here, and it will will make the wheels move. With this, it goes up and down, up and down. And let me tell you, these things have a lot of power. Lot of power. So, like, it would, like, these have so much power. These have so much power. It could go up grades like really well. So that, as I mentioned, that's why these locomotives were made to haul really long loads of lumber. And a little bit, I'm going to show you a video on like how it works and everything. So let's get a little bit of a. So these are what the cab controls. And also, I want to take a look. This is also a diagram about the cab controls are for the Shay locomotive. It's all pretty much the same as pretty much a lot the same as a regular steam locomotive. It's just this is diff. It's just the only difference is just these pistons right here. So, here's this one right here. So, this is a little bit of what it looks like, of what kind of looks like in action. So, you got the cylinders right here. Then you got the reverser shaft, which, when you put the junction bar, which is the reverser on the train, when it goes forward and back, these things go in and out, make it, which operates on the crankshaft, which gets these things moving, and then it'll cause these. Then you got the sliding joint, the U joints, and through the truck shift with the bevel gears, making the wheels move. And also this thing up here, this is the air tank for the brakes, just like how every other steam locomotive has. And alright, and let me stop the music for a sec, because I'm gonna show a video of what one looks like in action. Let me see if I can find a good one.
One of the underrated.
Oh, here we go. So here's a clip of shade number 50 at the 70 Mountain Sugar Pine Road coming along, going up a grade right here. This is what looks like an action passing by. And we should be able to see the pistons doing its job. Oh, I love that sound. Oh, there's the pistons right here. All right, let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find one close up of the pistons, so that way you can kind of see like how it works. Okay, let's see here. Alright, here we go. Here's one that's from the Canada Museum of Science and Technology. Here we go. And they have this as almost so you can kind of see how the pistons work.
In 1945. The museum's shay is composed of parts from 2 locomotives, one constructed in 1923 and the other in 1925.
See how it works?
Both were constructed for the Maryland Ring Lumber Company Limited.
Let's take a look at that one more time.
Maryland Ring Lumber Company Limited. Constructed for the Maryland Ring Lumber. One constructed in 1923 and the other in 19.
There you go. That's a little bit of how the pistons. Well, let me see if we can find a regular one of how it also how it works in action. Here we go. Here's a better one. Hold on, I got an ad right here. Let's see this. Let's get rid of this ad real quick. Okay, here we go. Take a close look at these pistons. Look at those babies go. That's what makes these locomotives move, is those pistons. There we go.
First locomotive was.
Oh. Let's get the music back on. What do you think? Ain't that cool? I do plan to go back to the Sugar Pine Railroad sometime in the future, so that way I could actually see either this engine or this engine in action. Because as I mentioned before, I did get to see it while I was up there because they were having a mechanical issue with it. But I do have a picture. But I do have a picture of it on my Instagram, of it in the engine house from my trip. So I was able to get pics of that, but what do you guys think though? Like, aren't these really cool? All right. I think I'm gonna end this up by continuing on with a little bit about the lime locomotive and the shay, then then I think I'm gonna call it a night. And continuing on, and I quote, in 1903, Lima could claim it had delivered the heaviest locomotive on drivers in the world. The first four-truck Class D shay weighing 140 short tons. This was built for the El Paso Rock Island Line in Alamogordo, New Mexico, to Cox Canyon 31 miles away over winding curves and grades up to 6%. The use of a two-truck tender was necessary because the poor water quality along the line meant that the locomotive had to carry enough water for a round trip. Then, Louis C. Frater, working for Lima, patented improved engine mounting brackets and a superheater for the shay in 1908 and 1909. After the basic shay patent had expired, Willamette Iron and Steel Works of Portland, Oregon manufactured shay-type locomotives, and in 1927, Willamette obtained a patent on an approved gear truck for such locomotives. These became known as Willamette locomotives. Since quote-unquote shay was a trademark of Lima, strictly speaking, it is incorrect to refer to locomotives manufactured by Willamette and others as quote-unquote shays. 6 shay-patent locomotives known as the Henderson-style shays were built by the Michigan Iron Works in Cadillac, Michigan. And going a little bit about the different classes of shays, you got the Class A ones, which have 2 cylinders, 2 trucks, weigh between 6 and 24 short tons. Then you got Class B, which has 3 cylinders, 2 trucks, weigh between 10 and 60 short tons. Then you got Class C, has 3 cylinders, 3 trucks, weigh between 40 and 160 short tons. Then you got the Class Ds, 3 cylinders and 4 trucks, weight of 100 and 150 short tons. These were more powerful than the Class Cs, but had greater fuel and water capacity, resulting in improved adhesion. Then there was 2 15 short ton shays were built with 2 cylinders, 3 trucks. Then they also had 4 shays, 600mm gauge ones, which were built left-handed, all special ordered by Senor Octavio B. Capico in San Luis de la Paz, Mexico. And everyone, how many of these were built? Well, there were approximately 2,770 shay locomotives built by the Lima Locomotive Works between 1878 and 1945. And there's still a bunch of surviving ones, including these 2 and the ones and a couple of the ones that I've shown in the videos I just provided. Alrighty. I really hope you guys learned something new tonight. I'm so glad I got to do another train talk with you guys tonight. I know this was kind of I know this was kind of a short stream, but I was trying to prep this for you guys so that way we could, because I definitely love talking about trains for you guys. But before we go, let's see who we can raid tonight. I hope Storm's still back on, because let's see if we can try to raid him tonight. Let me turn up the music. Okay, yep, he is on. Alright, everyone. Thank you once again so much for another great stream, Jackson Express. I might be starting stream earlier tomorrow because I have to be at work super early in the morning on Wednesday at 2:30 a.m. for cycling at the Disneyland Railroad, because we're getting our ride control system back. So I'm probably gonna be starting stream maybe like at like noon, I would say, maybe sometime or maybe like a little bit in the afternoon, but I'm not too sure. But keep an eye out on the live notification, and if you're not in my Discord though, really, I highly recommend joining my Discord, so that way you can get a notification when I go live as well. Alright, thank you so much for another great stream of the Jackson Express, and I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow in the next one. Have a magical night, everyone!